Maya vanished from our Zoom call, but her mic was still on. My name is Leo, and I'm recording this because I don't know what else to do. The police think I'm crazy. My friends are just as scared as I am. We all saw it. Or rather, we all heard it. It started 3 nights ago on our weekly Friday night Zoom call. And if you're watching this, please, be careful with this technology. It's not just a window into someone's home. Sometimes it's a door, and you don't know what's waiting on the other side to come through. It was the usual crew. Me, Ben, Chloe, and Maya. A tradition we'd kept up since college. A digital campfire to ward off the loneliness of adult life. We were about an hour in, laughing at one of Ben's terrible jokes, when Maya's video feed froze. She was mid-laugh, hand raised to her mouth, the fairy lights strung up on her bookshelf twinkling behind her. A classic Wi-Fi hiccup. And we lost Maya, Chloe said, taking a sip of her wine. Probably her ISP throttling her again. Maya, you there? Your face is going to be stuck like that, Ben chuckled. We waited. The frozen image of Maya stayed put for another 10 seconds, then dissolved into a black square with her name, Maya Desai, written in stark white letters. Still, nothing out of the ordinary. But then her mic icon, the little gray microphone next to her name, flickered green. A sound came through. It was faint, like a burst of static. Or maybe the rustle of a sleeve against a microphone. Okay, she's still there, I said, leaning closer to my screen. Maya, we can hear you, but we can't see you. Silence. Then, another flicker of green. This time, the sound was different. It was a soft, dry, papery shuffling, like dead leaves skittering across pavement. What is that sound? Chloe asked, her brow furrowed. Sounds like she's eating chips with her mic on. Ben quipped, but his smile was gone. The mood had shifted. The light-hearted call had developed a strange, tense undercurrent. Maya, seriously, what's going on? I asked. The green light flickered on again, and this time we all heard it. A whisper. It was gossamer thin, layered with static, but it was undeniably a voice. It was too faint to make out any words, but it was long and sibilant, like a snake's hiss stretched into a human breath. It was not Maya's voice. A cold dread, sharp and sudden, pricked at the back of my neck. I glanced at Ben and Chloe's faces in their little boxes. They were both pale, their eyes wide and fixed on Maya's black square. The joke was over. What the hell was that? Ben whispered, his own voice barely audible. It's probably just interference, Chloe said, but her voice lacked conviction. Someone else's radio signal or a baby monitor getting picked up. As she said it, I saw something. Just for a fraction of a second, in the reflection of my own dark screen, superimposed over Maya's black box, I saw a shape. It was tall and unnaturally thin, a distorted silhouette standing where Maya should have been. It vanished as quickly as it appeared. Did you guys see that? I blurted out, my heart starting to hammer against my ribs. See what? Ben asked. In her window, a figure. It was standing behind her chair. Leo, there's nothing there. It's a black screen, Chloe said, her tone sharp with anxiety. You're freaking me out. Before I could argue, Maya's mic went live again. This time, the sound was clearer and infinitely more terrifying. It was breathing. A slow, deep, ragged inhalation, followed by a long, wet-sounding exhale. It was the sound of a sleeping giant or something terminally ill. It was a sound that didn't belong in a brightly lit city apartment on a Friday night. Okay, I'm done, Chloe said, her hand flying to her mouth. I'm calling her. She pulled out her phone, her eyes never leaving the screen. We all watched in silence, listening to that awful, rhythmic breathing coming from the void of Maya's screen. Ben started texting her frantically. My own fingers felt frozen. I just stared, transfixed by that flickering green icon. Chloe's face fell. It's going straight to voicemail. No reply to my texts, Ben added, his voice trembling. The breathing stopped. For a blissful second, there was silence. Then, a new sound began. A faint, rhythmic thump. 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 It was slow, deliberate. And then we heard a scraping noise. The sound of fingernails dragging slowly across a wooden surface. My blood ran cold. Maya had a big oak desk, the one she'd proudly shown us after she'd restored it herself. The scraping stopped. The silence that followed was heavier, more suffocating than the sounds themselves. We were 3 people in 3 different cities, united in a shared, digital terror. And then, a voice came through Maya's mic. It was clear as a bell, a low, guttural rasp that scraped the inside of my skull. Not home. It was 2 simple words, but they shattered our composure. Chloe let out a small, strangled gasp. Ben looked like he was going to be sick. That was not Maya. It wasn't a man or a woman. It was something else. Who is this? Where's Maya? I demanded, my voice shaking. The only reply was a low, chilling chuckle. It sounded ancient, dry, and brittle. Then we heard a distinct sound. The heavy clunk of a deadbolt sliding shut. Panic set in. Chloe, bless her practical mind, was already dialing 911, asking for a wellness check at Maya's address. She put her phone on speaker, and we could hear the calm, professional voice of the dispatcher. As Chloe relayed the information, Maya's mic flickered green one last time. And the most impossible thing happened. The dispatcher's voice, the exact same one on Chloe's phone, echoed from Maya's speakers. Okay, ma'am, we're dispatching a unit to 418 Elm Street now. Can you stay on the line? Chloe and the dispatcher on her phone fell silent. We all stared at our screens. The voice had come from Maya's feed a split second before it came from Chloe's phone, like an echo from the future. The call itself was haunted. It was listening. It was participating. Minutes stretched into an eternity. We stayed on the call, silent, prisoners in our own homes, our eyes glued to that black square. Finally, the dispatcher on Chloe's phone spoke again. Ma'am, our officers are on the scene. They're entering the apartment now. A moment later, a new voice crackled through Chloe's phone speaker, a police officer. Dispatch, we're inside. The apartment is empty, completely cleared out. And there's dust everywhere. I mean, thick dust. It looks like no one has lived here for years. As he finished his sentence, the black square with Maya's name on it simply vanished. The call shrunk to 3 participants. She was gone. The police report confirmed the impossible. The landlord of Maya's building said that apartment, 3B, had been vacant for 5 years. Ever since the last tenant, a young woman, had disappeared without a trace. They had no record of Maya Desai ever living there. All her social media has been wiped. It's like she never existed. So that's the story. We were on a call with a ghost in a place she never lived, a digital echo in an empty room. But that's not the reason I'm recording this. That's not the most terrifying part. I turned the laptop camera to show my computer monitor. It's turned off, a black reflective mirror. The calls with Ben and Chloe have been tense. We don't talk for long. Last night, after we hung up, I was staring at my dark screen, just like this one, and I saw it again. That tall, thin silhouette. It wasn't in a reflection of my room. It was standing inside the screen, looking out at me. And then, my webcam light flickered on, all by itself. I turn the camera back to my face. A single tear rolls down my cheek. I haven't opened Zoom since that night, but the application icon in my taskbar, it's always glowing, like I'm still in a meeting. Sometimes, when the house is quiet, I can hear it. A faint, dry whisper, coming not from the speakers, but from the laptop itself. She vanished from our Zoom call, but her mic is still on. The problem is, I don't think it was ever her mic to begin with. And whatever was on that call with us, I think it followed me home. I think it's in the system now. Waiting. Because every so often, I see a new notification pop up on my screen. It says, "Leo, your microphone has been unmuted."